representatives, Ms. Gutierrez, and our fellow members of the local network. Today, my colleague and I will be presenting our proposal to commit with the United Nations Global Compact. So we are from different 4 companies come together as a team. PhD Diligent presented by Ms. Tan, Boeing presented by Ms. Farrow, L'Oreal presented by Ms. Le, and Kia Motor presented by me, Kai. So today we are going to highlight the 2 principles, which are principle 5 and 9 of the United Global Compact, and we also introduce we are one project about. Moving on to the main point, we are going to discuss about recommendation 1 and 2 pipeline principle 5 and recommendation 3 and 4 pipeline principle 9. We also discuss about the purchase and proposal summaries, and lastly, of course, the conclusion. First of all, I would like to highlight the principles 5, the effective abolition of child labor. So child labor is a serious issue that keep the children away from their education, their future. It also affect the economic growth of the countries, and there are so many jobs that affect the children's health. And lastly, the most important thing is everyone has their equal right. However, but then these children why not given. Moving on, the next United Nations Global Compact principle I would like to mention is principle 9, encourage the development and diffusion of environmentally friendly technology. Science has proven that the huge benefits that the eco-friendly technology that bring to our lives, such as increase the effect of use of material and energy sources, and development and improvement of cleaner and process of and products. It's also control of the impact on the ecosystem. And lastly, promotion of sustainable development by the general public. Moving on, even though we come from different 4 companies, however, we come as together because we comply with the United Nations Global Compact. So that's why we come together as a team to fulfill our commitment. Hence, our project is named We Are One. And also, our logo also reflects our project name. That we decide to come together and have the world that we make it better and better. Moving on. So what is the project We Are One about? So we will spend around 1% annual report of each company. So basically, the total expected budget is $2.05 billion. So as you can see in the Gantt chart, we're starting from 1st December 2016. We are going to spend $2.05 billion during the next 5 years to comply with our project. And the beneficiary will be the internal and external stakeholders, which are the community, the local children, the government, and our company itself. So now I will pass the time to my colleague, Ms. Tan.
Thanks, Mr. Kai. Now I will be going to explain about the principle 5. Business should uphold the effective abolition of child labor. Child labor has become a major issue throughout the world. This international problem is becoming intense with every passing day because a large number of children are forced to do labor jobs, which is completely against the law. Our recommendation 1 is companies need to write in the contract and to make it clear to the suppliers, employees, and their customers that they are against child labor. And our programs will support to promote children's rights and fight child labor in Johannesburg, the largest city in South Africa. In South Africa, there are still more than 0.8 million child labor problems. And in Johannesburg, in South Africa, this problem is very common in the industrial sector. In Johannesburg, the cities and the outskirts have many industrial factories, so this problem is very common here. And in our 4 companies, the attitudes toward this problem is very same. We prohibit the use of the child labor or forced labor at our organizations. And we suggest that for the other companies, they need sign the contract and to make the contract clear that they are against child labor and to ensure the worker's age must older than 18. And the companies also need to make a system of punishment. If there is a child labor problem occurs, the small suppliers should supervise each other. And if this problem is occurs, that means a breach of contract. They need to. That means they breach of contract. So they need to assume this responsibility for the breach of contract. And the companies also need to train for all employees and to make sure that will be implemented after signing the contract. And our recommendation too is to work with the local government and the World Child Protection Organizations to help the poor children in getting education. And our programs is to work with the UNICEF and the Save the Children organizations by choosing and training the unemployed people in the community, hiring them to become volunteers in our organizations. And we committed is about $400 million. If it's needed, we will reach many millions more in the future. And the when, where, and who for the 2 recommendations are almost the same. Our project will implement on 1st December 2016, and our Singapore companies practiced with our partners in some developing countries, and our project will implement in other subsidiaries, especially in Johannesburg, South Africa. And now think about why children want to make money. Because of family poverty or lost their parents, the society does not help them, so they can only rely on their own strength to work to make money. Without money, they may face some problems such as hunger, illness, even death. So it's not just managers and employees' responsibility. The suppliers should fulfill the clause against the child labor, and the shareholders, customers, and the society also need to supervise them. Thanks. Now let's pass the time to Ms. Lei.
Thank you, Ms. Tang. I would like to continue the presentation by highlighting the benefits of the 2 recommendations which she has just mentioned. As you know, child labor is a kind of work which deprives children from their childhood, and it has negative impacts on mental as well as physical developments. By putting the clauses in contracts and implementing the educational programs, it will actually improve their vulnerable children's dignity and welfare because they will have an opportunity to attend schools. Moreover, their parents' capacity will also be increased because these children are actually protected and no longer exposed to such hazardous work. Moving on, I'd like to mention the first recommendation under Principle 9, which is to perform a loss evaluation within each manufacturing area. As you can see from the graphs, the global carbon dioxide emitted into the air from 1850 to 2012 has actually increased dramatically over the years, and this actually is expected to rise at a faster pace in the future. Here in this graph, the temperature of surface in the ocean has also increased substantially over the years. In Singapore alone, even just a few months ago, in September 2015, the residents had to suffer from the haze, where the air was actually heavily polluted, and it had negatively impacted on the health condition of the people living here. So, generally speaking, global warming has led to negative consequences and left us in such conditions where there were floods, droughts, air pollution, and many more. This is the reason why we recommend to perform a loss evaluation within each manufacturing area. This proposal will require the servers to record all the manufacturing process and details and then by the end of each month, all of these outcomes will be reported to the head of department. And here, each individual will actually perform the interpretations or evaluations on the results they have recorded to see where is the biggest amount of waste accounted. After that, all of these outcomes will be reported to National Environmental Agency of Singapore. Yes, we recommend to conduct this project by the 1st of December 2016, and it is of high importance that recent employees will be disciplined by batches, and new employees are aware of this project as well. It will be of high importance for all the branches in Singapore to conduct this project, and then after that achieved in other subsidiaries such as Japan or Australia. Yes, it is the managers and the employees who are responsible and obligated to be a part of this project so that shareholders, customers, and the society as a whole are beneficiaries of this project. This is why we recommend that all the companies should conduct this project so that the environmental issues will be eased, and this will boost up the economic environmental issues. And now I'll pass the time to Ms. Fazal. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Lai. So to continue for Principle 9, our second recommendation has two parts. So firstly, we are planning to invest and participate, and also to teach the farmers in South Africa how to grow and market aviation fuel. Why? To go back to Principle 9, which says that we have to encourage the development and diffusion of environmentally friendly technologies by through investing and encourage participation, we can encourage the development of eco-friendly technologies, and by teaching farmers how to grow aviation biofuel, sustainable aviation biofuel, we can decrease air pollution globally. So to carry on, how we plan to implement this strategy is through our three-step strategy, which is invest, engage, and advocate. So we recommend to partner and invest in institutions to encourage more participation of innovation of eco-friendly technologies. And the 4 institutions that we recommend that our 4 respected organizations should invest in is in Clean Green Industries, Green Futures Solutions, Nanyang University, and the National University of Singapore, which are all based in Singapore. And our program proposal, we plan to teach the farmers in South Africa, Limpopo province, how to grow sustainable aviation biofuel. We recommend to teach the farmers in South Africa in the Limpopo province because the Limpopo province is one of the poorest provinces in South Africa. And the farmers there, even though they have small plots of land that they own, they still have to work on commercial farms and to earn for their families. And the working and living conditions on these commercial farms are very, very poor. So by teaching the farmers who already have land how to grow biofuel, sustainable aviation biofuel, we can help them we can improve their lifestyle. And by approaching farmers who already have small plots of land under their name, we wouldn't have to go and invest and buy land for the farmers. Through this recommendation, we'll be able to create a sustainable income for the farmers in South Africa, and by helping them improve their lifestyle, we are also going to teach them how to market their biofuel that they grow, and then while they sell it to other organizations, overall, our air pollution will be reduced. As my colleague Ms. Lei had mentioned, air pollution have been increasing very rapidly in these recent years. So through using aviation biofuel, carbon emissions will decrease. So when we will implement with the approval of the United Nations. And where we'll be investing in institutions based in Singapore, and we'll be teaching the farmers in South Africa in the Limpopo province. So to carry on, basically who will implement this proposal will be the managers and employees of our 4 respected companies. And the beneficiaries of this recommendation will be firstly the society itself, as air pollution will reduce, it will benefit all of the society, their health conditions. The locals in South Africa, as will be improving their living conditions. The shareholders of our 4 respected companies, and finally our customers. Budget and proposal summary of all our 4 recommendations. As you can see, we have 2 recommendations for each principle, Principle 5 and Principle 9. So basically what we're going to do for Principle 5 is to include the clause in our contract and to educate to educate our employees and our suppliers. And for Principle 9, we're going to have a loss evaluation and encourage and share the technologies that we come up with. So how is basically through a unified understanding for Principle 5 and through partnership, because if everyone understands the disadvantages of child labor and how ethically wrong it is, then as a unified organization, we can help decrease child labor. And for Principle 9, through our 3-step strategies for both recommendations. And we plan to implement all these four recommendations during the same period, which is December 1st. And where will be in Singapore itself, and South Africa, Johannesburg, and the and the Limpopo province. And who will be our managers and employees of our 4 respected organizations. So budget summary. So we'll be spending around $400 million for both recommendations in Principle 5, and in Principle 9 we'll also be using $400 million for recommendation 3. But however, for recommendation 4 we'll be using $800 million because we have to include airfare and air travel to South Africa, and overall we would have to train our employees first on how to grow sustainable aviation biofuel, and then we will teach the farmers. So overall we'll have a total of $2.058 billion. So in conclusion, thank you for listening to our recommendation.
Thank you, team. Team 1, your questions.
So yeah, regarding your effective abolition of child labor, Principle 5, you guys recommended like ways to help the kids, families, support them economically. How do you guys intend on supporting them economically?
So as I said, through our recommendation in Principle 9, by teaching the farmers how to grow aviation fuel, overall they will have a higher income, and through this their children would not have to work to help their families.
One more question from this team.
So at what age do you guys intend to teach these kids how to grow?
No, not the kids. The farmers. Their parents, not the kids. That's child labor.